Hi, I'm Rebecca Rusch, and today we are going to talk gravel bikes. In case you haven't noticed, gravel is the new black. It's awesome, everybody's doing it, but what is a gravel bike and what is the difference between a gravel bike, a road bike, a mountain bike? So what's really cool is that the bike industry has started adapting and designing bikes specifically for gravel. So typically a gravel bike is going to have a little bit slacker geometry, wider space for a tire, and the whole goal why you're designing a gravel bike differently is that you're riding a rigid bike on rough roads, and so the goal is to have a little more comfort, a little more suspension in wider tires, and just to allow your body to take some rough roads but on a rigid bike. So you're going to have a wider space in the fork for a wider tire. I often am running 38 to 50 tires, so it seems kind of wide, but what that does is gives you control on dirt and lets you bomb downhill, lets you take your gravel bike kind of anywhere. And so wider tires are pretty key, and wider space in the fork for a bigger tire. And you can choose. I change my tire depending on the terrain. I might go narrower if it's a smoother path. I might go wider if I'm going to take it on some single track mountain bike trails. I love the Maxxis Rambler. That is my typical tire of choice. It's a really great all-around tire that's fast rolling but still gives you enough tread for control. Another trait to gravel bikes is a little bit slacker geometry than a road bike. And so kind of like the marriage between a mountain bike and a road bike. So road bikes are meant to go in a straight line real fast. Mountain bikes are meant to like go all over the trail, do a lot of turning and cornering. So gravel bike is kind of in between that, and no suspension, but you are getting a slacker fork, a more comfortable geometry so that you can really move the bike around on more technical trails. Another feature of gravel bikes is often a little bit wider handlebar than a road bike, sometimes a flared bar grip. This is the Envy gravel bar. I really like this, and the reason for the flare and the little bit wider bar is again control, a little bit more mountain bikey where you can have your elbows out, descending down in the drops with a little bit more flare. So that gives you more control, which means you can push the bike on harder terrain. This is the Live, Devote, Be Good Edition, and some features on this and some other gravel bikes that I really like are the ability to use this as a race bike, you know, real light and fast, or to use it as an adventure bike. So you've got mounts here for frame bags, mounts here for a frame bag, plenty of room to put a big seat bag. You could put a frame bag in the middle, and so these bikes are really kind of meant to do anything, go anywhere, whether you're racing an event like Private Idaho, or whether you're going on a multi-day adventure where you're going to be carrying all your gear with you. So that is one of my favorite things about gravel bikes, is you really can take them anywhere. If I were going to have one bike, God forbid, like that would be terrible. If I were only going to have one bike, it would be a gravel bike, because it really is the bike that can do anything. Some other features are a comfortable saddle. Again, you're riding a rigid bike on bumpy terrain. So where you're getting your suspension is from wider tires, from a really comfy saddle. And kind of on that note too, I use my mountain bike pedals and mountain bike shoes. People always ask, you know, do you ride road shoes or mountain bike shoes? Mountain bike, because you're off your bike sometimes, you're walking in the dirt. Again, this is this beautiful marriage between a mountain bike and a road bike, and that is a gravel bike. That is why gravel biking is so popular, so fun, and why everybody should have one. Another feature with gravel bikes is the gearing. So this is kind of mountain bike gearing. I run the SRAM Eagle Axis with one single front chain ring, so it's like business in the front, party in the back. The Eagle back here has a 1052 cassette, so I get a really wide gear range, very simple shifting with just one chain ring up front. I'm also running a power meter on this bike. This is the Cork power meter. And again, when you're riding a rigid bike on really rough, fun terrain, the places where you get your suspension is from the width of your tires, nice wide tires, with the appropriate tire pressure from your own body suspension, using your body, having wider handlebars to create suspension while you're riding, and also in the seat post, in the shape and what it's made of. This also provides a little bit of flex and comfort when you're riding on really rough, hopefully you're riding on really rough trails with a really fun gravel bike and having a blast. Thanks for joining. Be good. Try not to have too much fun.
There you go. No, I'm really glad that she was able to step in. You got it.
Nice.
Come on up. Come on up.